1 billion plastic fruit labels are applied to apples every single year in Hawke's Bay alone. Basically a full circle, so the waste apples aren't being wasted, the ones that aren't good enough for market are being used. It's warm water soluble, which means it encourages apple consumers to wash their fruit.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Maggie.
And I'm Zoe, and we are Bayuble.
In fact, it was exactly 1 year ago today that we were standing in a dragon's den pitching our idea of coming up with some kind of sustainable product. We had been shocked by the recent media around the damaging effects of plastic, and we were on the pursuit to do something about it.
We were told in the Dragon's Den that this idea, although in the R&D stage, could be a game changer. So we challenged ourselves to not only create a successful prototype, but maybe even make it onto TV and make people think a lot more about sustainability and the environment.
12 months later, several prototypes, challenges, pitches, and news stories. Here we are, 3 18-year-old first-year university students and part-time entrepreneurial environmentalists.
Our story begins in Havelock, North Hawke's Bay. We created our business through the Young Enterprise Scheme, knowing we wanted to come up with an innovative idea that would solve a problem. Originally, we wanted to create a plastic bag alternative. However, we wanted to stand out and be unique, so we pursued creating something revolutionary and that was never before seen.
Hawke's Bay is known as the fruit bowl of New Zealand, and eventually the idea of creating an alternative to the current fruit sticker was born. After doing some market research, we found that most people despise these pesky little stickers, but they are legally essential in the industry. 2.4 billion labels are applied to apples every year in Hawke's Bay alone. This proves that these stickers aren't insignificant, and to us they were a problem that could be solved.
We made 4 main goals for our product, and that was for it to be warm water soluble, natural, edible, and fully biodegradable, and whilst keeping in mind that we didn't want to change consumer habits. So if you were still to drop your sticker on the ground like most people do, either the rain would wash it away or it would biodegrade by itself without any special technology required.
This was just a wild idea. We actually had no idea that we'd be able to produce something like the Uble, but with our drive to succeed, we researched like crazy, trying to find ingredients that would fulfill the characteristics of our Uble, and after a few months, we happened to create a successful prototype.
This was the beginning, and man, we were excited, and we still are. People often ask us if we had outside help from a technologist or if we had someone else make the Uble for us, and the answer is no. We created the Uble fully by ourselves, simply by random testing, trialling, doing anything we could with the ingredients we had until we got there. The coolest thing is that the main component of the Uble is a byproduct of waste apples, which creates a circular economy. The Uble is essentially like a second skin on the apple. We also created the glue for the Uble, as well as other varied prototypes that could be used for other plastic alternatives. Fruit labels are just the start.
The changing face of the market is rapid, innovative, and often unpredictable. So much as an idea can have the power to influence the way people think and bring attention to the ability of the world and the people to come up with new ideas to have big impact.
We know this as youth living in a highly accessible world. We have seen and engaged with things that have totally transformed our lives. As 12-year-olds, we had our first mobile phones, an Apple iPhone, and we anticipated the arrival of the next big thing. We were born into a fast-paced, consumerist world where genius ideas exist, where the power of social media can create global unity but can often fog what's truly important. But we are educated, we know what's wrong with the world, and we want to do something about it.
We find it stimulating to try and find solutions to the problems the world faces. And because of the powerful influence of our upbringing and unconscious mentoring from some of the most influential people of all time. Withstanding the negative connotations of society being increasingly consumerist, our state of wanting more actually it drives us to create more.
Kaitiakitanga has been a key idea in producing our product, and for us it means protecting our environment and including all people in order to create a sustainable future. It's not just about creating a sustainable product, but a sustainable business. It becomes so obvious in instances like this where products should have been made sustainable in the first place, and we can find this with almost every product we use today.
Einstein said you cannot solve tomorrow's problem with today's thinking. So that makes sense that the same people who created these problems aren't necessarily going to be the best ones to solve them. We think youth and our ability to facilitate and create ideas is an entirely different perspective that is unrecognised yet is totally pivotal in shaping our future.
A lot of our success and positive feedback has actually come in part from the shock of our age and ability to do what we have done. But individually, we actually aren't very different to people our age. We didn't know much about the industry that we wanted to promote change in, nor did we have a formal qualification of any kind, and I was the only one who studied science subjects at school.
The hardest part for us now, apart as being business world toddlers, is not coming up with new ideas or testing them ourselves, but getting from a good idea to a commercially viable, funded, expertise-backed, and protected idea. Youth can prove the power of their influential perspective quite easily, but the difficult thing is making it happen, and you guys can help. The next phase of the changing market should involve creating clear paths for everyday people to bring their fresh ideas to business to make a big impact.
Old ways and old thinking will not do. We need fresh thinking and fresh ideas. Like the proverb, ka pū te ruha, ka hau te rangatahi, the old net is cast aside and the new net goes fishing. As young people, our ideas are boundless, but we need your wisdom and your skills to convert our ideas into reality.
It has been an absolute privilege to speak at this inspiring summit today, and we hope you all have learnt some key ideas to take away with you.
This time last year, we wanted to create something that would spark positive environmental change. We would like to thank the Bayuble Team for giving us this platform to share our story.
We can't wait to find out what we will be doing this time next year. But for us now, with our Uble, we're looking for options to develop our product further. Our dream is to see our product on every single piece of fruit in supermarkets. Thank you.